Welcome back to Cube League Season 6, Week 1. I'm Persiferous.
I'm Mr. Control.
This week, our drafting table is going to look like this. We've got in Seat 1, Dispersity on Team Midgrow. He's going to be our feature drafter.
Yeah, in Seat 2, we got Han Clinto on YYY.
Seat 3, we've got the Beatdown, Can't Stop, Won't Stop.
And then Seat 4 is Dr. No, Just Cut a Land.
Seat 5, we've got Yowza, that's Dispersity's teammate for Team Midgrow.
And then Seat 6, we got Sir Brew-A-Lot on YYY.
Seat 7, we've got Heartbreaker on Can't Stop, Won't Stop.
And then Seat 8, we got G-Dog Buzz.
And that's going to be Just Cuddleland. You know, Just Cuddleland seems like a
Just
place I
Cuddleland.
want to visit sometime. Maybe not. Maybe not. All right, let's get in and see what Mr. Dispersity is going to be drafting. So, looks like they're all ready to go here in Pack 1. He's going to flip over a Fearless Fledgling, Lotus Cobra, a Cosmos Charger, a Lutri the Spell Chaser, Axgard Cavalry, Torbrand the Redfell, or Thane of the Redfell, Blightstep Pathway, Heliod Suncrowned, Usher of the Fallen, Balaged Recovery, Yuri and Sky Nomad, Giant Killer, Farika's Libation, a Gold Pick Axe, and an Archon, a Sun's Grace. It looks like he's flipping that Torbrand right up front real quick.
Yeah, that Torbrand is very interesting. It is triple red, but it'd be interesting if he's able to continue that style of deck going through this.
Well, he's going to identify that as the strongest card in the pack right away. Seeing Dispersity draft this pack or draft this card makes you think right away, like, did he study something in this cube and decide that he saw Boros and identified Boros being a strong set or a red being a strong?
It's very possible. I mean, the red in this cube is very strong, so it is possible he did do a lot of studying and trying to figure out what lane he wants to go into, and he's going to go into it early.
Yeah, I mean, triple red pips. That's a definite signal to himself saying, either A, I'm cutting this card, or B, I'm going to try to play this card. And I don't think he's cutting it. I think this is going to be a card that he's going to take, and we'll see if he tries to fit it in there. I mean, it is pack 1, pick 1, so it's kind of early.
Looks like we got someone in the think tank awfully early.
Yeah, I think we do. And it looks like it's going to be G-Dog Buzz sitting straight across from me. He's probably in that think tank. Looks like we got a pack coming right now. So here's a fresh pack of cards here. We've got Temple of Deceit, Swift Response, Pelucranos, Sigrid, God Favored, Wildborn Preserver, Temple of Malice, the Conclave Mentor, Swiftwater Cliffs, Feet of Resistance, Feasting Troll King, Luminarch Aspirant, the World Tree, Valky, and the Gilded Goose. Looks like he's going straight for the Luminarch Aspirant. Luminarch Aspirant's a pretty strong card. 2 mana, 1/1 at the beginning of your combat on your turn. Put a +1/+1 counter on a target creature you control.
Yeah, it looks like he possibly looks like he's trying to establish to being the Boros aggro player off the gun here in these first 2 picks. It'd be interesting to see what he picks.
Yeah, that Luminarch Aspirant's going to be the pick. That's going to be the card that he is identifying and passing on the rest.
And it's easy, when you think about his first pick being triple red, and then his second pick only being a single white, it's easy to splash into that Boros with that triple pip color.
It's absolutely right. Some cards from that pack I'd like to see come back would be that Sigrid.
That Sigrid
or
looks
the
really
Swift
good.
Response, either or. Both of them are pseudo removal spells. So we've got a Saroff, we've got a Eat to Extinction, Kaya, Erebos' Intervention, Finn the Fangbear, Maul of the Skyclaves, Great Shark, the Darkboar Pathway, Behold, Lava Brink Venturer. And it looks like he's going to look up that Maul of the Skyclaves right away. That is the strongest card in the pack.
That is the strongest card in the pack, yes.
That is a card that I put up there with Embercleave on strength.
Yes, the card is very, very unique. It's very good.
Yeah.
And it's still just that single pip color He's definitely trying to establish like I'm going to play Boros.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's the tone that I'm getting so far. There's Elder Gargaroth, Seasoned Hallowblade, Magda, uh, Spark Hunter, Divine Arrow, Glorious Protector, Skyclave Apparition, and Thrashing Brontodon. He's going to pull Seasoned Hallowblade up and Elder Gargaroth. He's got to be wondering what's going on with this Elder Gargaroth. Why is this in this pack? But he sees the Seasoned Hallowblade.
It seems like he's going to stay within his lane and note that he's hoping that maybe his partner is picking up on this green signals. Looks like it's coming his way, hopefully.
Could be, but you pass that kind of stuff to Han Clinto, though, and I think it's going to go bye-bye. So we saw a Croxa there. There's a Righteous Valkyrie, a Sworn Shambler, Perforos's Intervention. Looks like he's got the Perforos's Intervention pulled up front. He's also looked at that Windscarred Crag. Looks like he's going to go with the Perforos's Intervention.
And one thing to note in the pack, there is a lot of green in that pack still. So,
yeah.
If the guy to his left is reading these signals right, he's going to have a strong green deck.
He's going to have a strong green deck. And you know what? Dispersity is not playing YYY today. Team Midgrow is not playing YYY. They're playing just Cuddleland. So that's another interesting thing. So a Crone War is a strong card for this deck right away. Like G-Dog Buzz is feeding all the Boros goodies right now. So we got a Farfinder. Sorry, I cut you off.
Oh, that's okay.
We've got a Scoured Barrens, a Invasion of the Giants, Grasping Giant. There's our buddy, the Grasping Giant. Looks like he's going to go with the Savai Triumph.
I mean, he's established himself as a Boros player, and why not just have a Cycle Land plus some of your colors?
Absolutely. I think that's a great pick for this pack. It's like you said, it's got all the colors that he needs. Gives him the opportunity to cycle it away if he needs to.
Yeah, I definitely like the fact that he's noticed that his first pick was triple red, and he's only trying to splash into that white. He's not looking at the double, triple pip of white. He's only trying to get a little into it, and hopefully it's going to pay off for him in the future.
Absolutely. We see a Fireblade Charger, a Relic Robber, a Victory's Envoy, and a Mythos. He's going to go with the Relic Robber. That's a little hasty 3-drop guy. Gives your opponents little constructs that don't do anything but give them damage. So
and it looks, based off the draft that Dispersity is doing, he is definitely looks like he has studied this cube and is definitely just has a solid Boros deck going.
Yeah, I agree with that. Here's his original pack back. So he's got an Axguard Cavalry, Usher of the Fallen. Usher of the Fallen's a card that you wonder how it came all the way back to him.
I gotta be wondering what the other people at the table are thinking.
Usher of the Fallen has Boast. It's just a strong card all the way around. 1-drop. Let's see if he pulls it up here. So Usher of the Fallen is just it's got that Boast mechanic, and being able to have a 1-drop that you can go to combat with, and then if you don't have a 2-drop to play with, well, you do now, because now you can just use the Boast mechanic and make another guy.
Absolutely, and with the Boros deck, that's all they're trying to do is they're just trying to get guys onto the table as fast as can.
Yep, absolutely. All right, there's Sigurd came back. Conclave Mentor, Feet of Resistance, Feasting Troll King, and a Temple of Malice. So he's looking at the Sigurd here. Sigurd's got Flash, protection from protection from gods. He's going to go with the Feet of Resistance, which is a save spell. That's what Boros wants.
Correct. Like it doesn't want to lose to a random burn spell or random removal. He can just save its guy.
Yeah, absolutely. So it puts a +1/+1 counter on it and gives it protection from color until end of turn.
And I want to note, want to notice too that mention that he didn't take the other white card because of the double pip.
Yeah,
He is trying just to stay into boars and knows that triple pip red is going to be the solid of his deck, and he's just trying to get into the white.
Lava Brink came back to him. Lava Brink Venturer.
I mean, immediately.
Yeah.
Just hands down, like, I have no idea why this is still here.
Yeah, and on top of that, I think at this point, like, his entire pack 1 has been his deck so far. Like, he's only going to need a few more pieces, and he can start cutting
Absolutely
the rest of it, and just continue to build this deck to make this deck strong. I think he's probably looking for Halvar and maybe an Embercleave.
Oh, Embercleave would send this deck off at the top.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's already got, the Maul the Skyclaves, which is already going to do that. But I think he's looking for just a couple more pieces. Not a whole lot, just a couple.
And the sad part is, if Han Clinto picked up the green coming back, going through him, and he picked up on that signal, he's going to start shipping Dispersity a lot of the white red also, which in pack 3 could hurt Han Clinto, because there's a chance that he may say, hey, my deck is pretty much built. I'm looking for just bombs at this point.
Right.
And I can start cutting these good green cards I seen coming.
So Magda, Glorious Protector, and Ghostly Pilferer. I mean, this is a pack that, Magda's all right. Glorious Protector's got Flash flying as a 3/4. It saves your creatures. It is that double white pip.
I believe it has Foretell, though.
It does have Foretell. Righteous Valkyrie, Windscarred Crag, and Wings of Hubris.
I think he's definitely in the correct deck, judging by the draft, the last 3 cards.
I think so too. I think he's gonna look back at his deck and say, "Speak to me here, deck. What do you want? Do you want that other land? I think you want that other land."
I think the other land just secures a lot. I mean, yeah, you send a decent white card you could put, but having that land to help you go through and
well, I think he identified that other white flyer is a life gain deck and said, you know what, somebody else needs this. I don't need this. I need this land. And now we're getting into the last few cards, and he gets past the Invasion of the Giants. So that's going to do it for pack 1. I think my cards that I'm going to choose are going to be, there's so many good cards in this pack. I think right away, the Luminarch Aspirant, the Maul the Skyclaves, and I'm on the fence with the Seasoned Hallowblade and the Usher of the Fallen. I think I'm going to go Usher of the Fallen. Those are going to be my 3 picks for this.
The Usher of the Fallen is a strong card itself.
Yeah? What other cards do you like out of this?
I like the Relic Robber.
Yeah?
That small hasty guy. And then I also like Feast of Resistance.
Yeah, Feat of Resistance, save your creatures.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get into pack 2 and see what he's got in mind for that. So pack 2, he opens a Gadrak, Sphere, some of the other cards that were flipping by too fast that I couldn't read. Shepherd of the Flock is what it was. There's a Banishing Light, Temple of Silence, Emeria's Call, Luminous Broodmoth could fit into his deck, and a Fight is one. He's got a lot of choices here. He's got some good white cards.
I'm partially into the Banishing Light to have that little bit of removal, but I can't follow him if he takes the Luminous Broodmoth here. The Luminous Broodmoth saves your guy also.
It does. And then, I'm kind of surprised he passed right up that Gadrak. That Gadrak is a 3-mana 5/4 flyer that can block all day long. But It might not be where he's thinking.
It may seem like he's just wanting just to try to maybe just tempo him out. Like,
He's trying to
having the
Luminous Broodmoth's going to be the pick. It'd be interesting to see if this Banishing Light and some of the other cards that are in there might come back to him. The Fearless Fledgling.
well, judging by his pack 2 pick 1, I think he's probably on the lines of, hey, I'm going to be getting these cards back.
It could be. It could be. He sees Dream Trawler there, Lithoform Engine. There's Akiri, which will play right along with some artifact and equipment. A Slaying Fire. He's going to go find that Dream Trawler. He's saying, I can't pass this Dream Trawler.
Exactly. He knows that the Dream Trawler, if it lands and stays alive long enough, it can just...
It'll take a game over.
Yeah, it's going to take the game over, and he doesn't want to do that.
Yeah, and in his deck, being short of board wipes, I don't think that's where he'd want to be. He wants to cut that card. He doesn't want to fight against it. And he wants to just move on, which I think is incredibly smart. Because I think you pass that card to G-Dog Buzz, and he's going to take it. So we got a couple of good red cards here that he's going to look at. He's going to look at this Dragonkin Berserker. It's a 2/2 for 2 with first strike, and says Boast, create a 5/5 red dragon creature for 5 mana, and this costs 1 less for each dragon you control.
Yes, so
that's a card you probably want to play late.
It rewards you for drawing it late. It's not so much an early, but it definitely rewards you for drawing this card late in the game.
Yes, it does. And he's going to pick that card. And, if you got to play it on turn 2, you got to play it on turn 2. It does have first strike, so it's going to block a lot of little things with ease. And you can also just get in there and get some beats going. Looks like there's a Haktos.
Instantly.
He goes right for the Haktos.
Instantly. Not a question about it.
Didn't even think about anything else in that pack.
I think he got to it and stopped.
I think it was the last card. He had to stop. I think now he's definitely looking at this and saying, okay, where's the Embercleave? Leyline Tyrant. We've got a Calamity Bearer, a Tectonic Giant, Perforos the Bronze-Blooded, Obosh, Foulmire Knight. This is a pack that I'm looking at and saying maybe a cut out of something. I don't know if this is a pack that you're going to take something and play. You're not necessarily in the Giant deck. There's 2 Giants in there. He's going to go with the Leyline Tyrant. The Leyline Tyrant is a 4-mana flyer.
It is. And it's also double red, so it's not like he, if he chooses to play his pack 1, pick 1, this isn't going to hurt him to play this.
And so far, I really like this deck.
It's coming along nicely. It's definitely going to be a solid Boros deck, it looks like.
Looks like he's looking at a handful of green cards, and a couple of blue cards, and a couple of equipment. I think he's looking at this pack and he's saying, okay, I'm going to have to cut something here, or I'm going to take this Crawling Barrens. He's going to identify Crawling Barrens as being maybe the strongest card in the pack. It's a good land.
It's extremely good. It can be in the aggro decks.
It's hard to play Crawling Barrens with Haktos, though.
It is. Say that. But if you don't have the Haktos...
That's true, but you want to jam that Haktos on curve. On curve. And Crawling Barrens says, no, you can't do it this turn. Sorry, buddy. But Crawling Barrens is... Man, it's really strong. So here goes Zerta, Terra the Peaks. Or no, that's Terra Mount Velis. Terra Mount Velis costs 7. Terra the Peaks costs 5. That's a big difference. Looks like a Storm's Wrath and a Zerta. And he's going to go with the Zerta. He's looking at that Zerta going, That does say that my equipment now costs 2 less to activate and attach. So looks like a fairy formation, Shatter Skull Charger. He's going to pull the Shatter Skull Charger up front. He says, this is going to be the card I want. It's a big beater.
It is, and it's only costs 3 mana.
It costs 3 mana. It comes out. It's got haste and trample, and at the end of combat, you put it back in your hand. There's his original pack here. Shepherd of the Flock made it around. Surprised at that. Surprised a lot of those cards made it around. But it doesn't seem like anybody else is white. It doesn't seem like anybody else is red.
It truly doesn't, and it seems like he's trying to read the table, and I think he said, you know what, I've read this table perfect. I'm getting everything I want.
I'm getting rewarded with everything. So Akira the Fearless Voyager is good for artifacts, for those equipment. And he's going to look through his deck and he's going to say, well, I've only got the one. I haven't seen the other one yet, so maybe it's not the card for me. And then maybe he's going to look at this Outlaw's Merriment, but I think he's going to go with the Akiri. So the Akiri just, again, helps out with the equipment. It's a good card. If he decides to play it, he's got it. If he doesn't, it can go in his sideboard.
If he gets an Embercleave in pack 3,
he's playing it.
It'd be really hard to beat this deck, I think.
Weaselback Redcap's going to be the pick. It's a 1/1 for 1. It's got, I think if it's equipped, it's got haste. It's pretty decent card. Or no, it's got fire breathing.
Fire breathing, yeah, it does give it fire breathing.
It's got 3. I think it's 3 mana, and it gets +2/+0.
Well, he already has the creature Limvala, I think, that makes him cheaper. Your equipment's cheap to equip.
Oh, Zerta. Yeah, he's got Zerta.
So it's basically going to be like almost a free equip, and then, now I got this fire breather you got to deal with.
Right. It's very true. Very true. It times itself out as being a nice clock.
It's very strong.
And it looks like G-Dog Buzz is in the tank again.
He definitely is in a tank. I think he's thinking, wow, okay, I shipped you all these green cards. You weren't taking green. Now you're shipping all these green cards back. Is no one on that side? Am I in the wrong color? Should I be switching to green?
He could be thinking that. So we've got a Stolen by the Fae. Yeah, I think Stolen by the Fae, you don't want your stuff going back to your hand.
Absolutely not.
Plus, he's cutting
creatures. So now he's starting to cut. Like, his deck is almost completely built, minus an Embercleave.
Yeah,
this deck is almost done.
Yeah, I think literally that is the card that he's looking for, is an Embercleave.
So now he's all about, okay, I don't want to play against this. I've let my partner at least see this. Hopefully my partner has picked up on the signals coming his way. And if he's not, I got to cut because I don't want to lose this card.
Right. And, he's passing the J-Dog Buzz, and he's probably picked up a clue that, he might be in maybe a blue-black deck. When it was coming back the other way, there wasn't a whole lot of blue cards coming.
There wasn't.
So it'll be interesting to see how Pack 3 rounds out. But I think right now, Dispersity has been looking at this draft, and he's been saying, okay, I'm definitely a strong Boros deck. I definitely want a couple more pieces. So I'm still going to look for those. And then the rest of it, I'm just going to start cutting. He does get past a Perforos. Perforos came right back to him.
at this point, anything he gets above an Embercleave is just bonus.
Yeah, I think so too. He's going to take a Baron, Talarian Archmage. Again, one of those cards that just bounces things back to your hands that he doesn't want to play against. And he gets past the Temple of Epiphany. I bet somewhere somebody along the lines is going, man, I wish I would have taken that Temple of Epiphany. So I think this pack was really good. It really solidified him in this straight Boros set. I think for me, the top 3 cards that I'm going to pick, I think I'm going to go with this Dragonkin Berserker, this Haktos, and probably the Zerda. I think those are going to be the 3 strongest cards I see.
So I'm thinking of Shepherd of the Flock.
Mm-hmm.
And then also I do like the Zerda too. That card's is really strong. And I'm also interested in Luminous Broodmoth.
Luminous Broodmoth is a pretty strong card. I mean, it helps out in so many ways.
The cool thing about this card is it's literally going to say, okay, you kill my stuff now flies. I'm playing Boros. It's going to be hard to deal with.
Yeah. All right, it looks like we're getting right into pack 3 here. So Basri's Lieutenant right on the top. He's got a Pacifism there, Lurrus, a Kitra Triome, Terror of the Peaks, Ravenform, Wilt, Hydrous Growth, Questing Beast, and Forging the Tyrite Sword. So Forging the Tyrite Sword is an interesting card. It is his colors. I think out of this pack, he's trying to figure out, okay, what are some of the strong things that I want here? So Forging the Tyrite Sword helps him to go get equipment on the 3rd chapter. Basri's Lieutenant lands and says, okay, another creature is going to get a +1/+1 counter, and I am protection from multicolor. I'm vigilant. I'm a 3/4. And if another creature I control dies that has a +1/+1 counter on it, which I have Luminous Aspirant, that gives other creatures +1/+1 counters on combat, I get a 2/2.
Right. And then the other thing he could be thinking is, look at some of these solid green cards. Like, I know green's not his color, but, there is a Questing Beast in there.
There is.
So there is, he could be thinking, these pieces are just bonus.
I think what he's doing here is he's going to identify this Basri's Lieutenant for his deck. He's going to pass it to Han Clinto, and Han Clinto is going to go, there's a Questing Beast here. He's passed me all these green cards. I've got to take this.
Yes.
So now we're looking at the pack that G-Dog Buzz passed to him. He's got a Temple of Triumph right there. He's got some strong red and white cards in there. He's going to take the Temple, get that mana fixing. That's what he's after right now.
Right.
I think his deck is pretty much complete, except for an Embercleave.
And he's only got a few packs to go, I believe. If it makes it late,
yeah,
I'd be really surprised. But he's only got a few packs to go, and he's hoping, because he knows no one around that table is playing red and white. So maybe one of the other colored players they're shipping him the red white stuff.
Absolutely. Thassa Deep Dwelling, Realm Cloak Giant, Castle Lochtwain, Arnie the Broken Bow, Soul Seer, the Ozolith, Linvala, Scavenge Blade, Roiling Vortex, and Ruin Crab. I tell you what, that Ruin Crab seems really scary for me, but some of the cards that he's pulled up here to the top are cards that are pretty strong also. Realm Cloak Giant has a board wipe attached to it. Soul Seer, he doesn't have a whole lot of removal. I think that Soul Seer is going to be something that he's going to slide right into that deck.
Yeah, the Soul Seer is going to just enhance his spells as the game goes on.
And he doesn't have to play against a Dream Trawler.
Yes.
So that's a good thing. Dual Strike, Yasharn, Endatha Triome, Inscription of Ruin, Titanoth Rex, Jungle Hollow, Unsubstantiate, Elspeth. Elspeth's son's
He is being
nemesis.
Rewarded
Again.
tremendously.
Again. But you got to wonder, when's he going to start cutting?
I honestly, I mean, I can't fault the guy,
No,
but
no.
he's getting spoon fed
Yeah,
all these really, really good red and white cards together.
absolutely. Absolutely. Heightened reflexes. Needle Verge Pathway, that's another piece of fixing. Blossoming Sands, Call of Death Dweller. Spyglass. Ginger Brute. Alciate of Life's Bounty. He's going to look through these and say, okay, what are we going to do here? So Alciate gives protection to an enchantment or a creature, I do believe, by sacking it. It also has lifelink. The Needle Verge Pathway is the color land that he needs. He's going to go with that. The Ginger Brute could have been good for him. It's a little 1-mana 1/1 with haste. And then plus, it can't be blocked later, and it's also a piece of food. So
right, you can gain some life.
So we saw a Redain there. There's a Fervent Champion, a Rune of Mortality, a Gem Razor, Charming Prince, and a Fabled Passage. This is an interesting pack. Yeah, I'd pull those cards right up front too. I think, yeah, the Fervent Champion is maybe the best card in the pack. Maybe it fits perfectly with what he's trying to do. I think he's trying to look at, okay, I need some 1-drops. Get in there, get this damage down quick.
Right.
I need to go.
I got this couple good pieces of equipment, and I just need, if I don't get the turn 2, turn 3 creature, I need to be able to put it on a turn 1 creature that can just keep going to town.
Yeah, especially with that Maul of Skyclaves, it enters and attaches right away. Eidolon of Obstruction, Swallowhole, Kargan Intimidator, Tybalt's Trickery, Fire Prophecy, Convolute, and Jace, the Mirror Mage. So he's going to pull the Kargan Intimidator right up front. It's another one of those creatures that can help save things by...
It is, but I'm partial to the Trickery, because if someone did get a really good spell that he may or may not be able to deal with, a wrath effect of some sort, the Tybalt's Trickery.
So you want him to counter that?
It could be a possibility.
Could be. I think he's going to go with the Kargan Intimidator here. It speaks to him.
It's a strong card. I mean, it is a creature, and it keeps him, and it's only 1 mana.
Absolutely. There's a Ragran Triumph that's also in his colors. The Fiend Artisan, Revoke Existence. He's got to think about this for a second. Does he need more mana? I think he needs more mana.
More mana is nice.
But it's another tap land.
It does come in, and he's not that kind of...
I think that's what he's looking at. He's going to go with the Revoke Existence.
And I like that. That's basically a piece of removal.
Yeah, it is. And it can also get rid of... it can get rid of a god, like Heliod. So here's his original pack. Forging Tyrite Sword is still in there. Pacifism's still in there. He's got a decision to make. Do I want the pacifism? Yeah, I think the pacifism is right. That's good, hard removal that it's hard to deal with. He just took a card that gets rid of pacifism.
Right.
So he knows he's not having to deal with too much.
Plus, I don't think he'll run it in his 40-card deck. He could, but it's definitely a good sideboard card if someone lands something real big bomb against you. You just...
Yeah.
Your creature just sits there now.
Yep. Absolutely. Looks like we're in the tank again here. It's getting close towards the end of these packs, and The choices get hard. They really do.
They do to a totally different degree. You think you're like, oh, it's an auto pick, like this is my color, but you also got to think like, oh, what have I been passing?
Yeah, you got to start worrying about like how many playables do you have? How much should I cut? You got to think about those things and start saying, okay, I remember seeing these cards like Questing Beast go by earlier that I didn't see when they came back, and how am I going to play against those? Do I have all the right tools to deal with those? I think the pacifism gives him a great tool to use against it. I think the Soul Seer is another great tool to use against it. But he's also starting to look at, this next pick is going to be the 10th in his pack for pack 3. And he's going to go, okay, what in here is either A, something I need, or something I'm not worried about? And I think Rimrock Knight is going to be the card that he needs. He can put it right in his deck. He not worried about the rest of it.
I don't think he's really worried about what he's shipping right now. He's not really like you hit the head on the nail.
And I think his deck is got all the playables in the world. I think he's got a full 40 and a full sideboard that he can just shift in and out of. And he keeps seeing red cards coming his way, and he's going, man, I'd like to cut something, but I keep seeing all these red cards come this way. So now he's starting to wonder, okay, if somebody else is picking up these late signals that there's red in the packs,
right?
Are
these they cutting cards, from me?
Are these cards that are going to hurt me? So he's thinking, okay, dual strike, ruin, or inscription of ruin. He's going to go with the dual strike. It's a card that copies an instant or sorcery,
and he's still got the Ginger Brute.
I mean, he's definitely wondering what's going on.
I would really have liked to see if he
Charming Prince came back.
Wow.
I mean, that's
he's being rewarded.
Temple of Abandon.
He stayed in his lane. Only cut a few cards that he knew he couldn't beat, like the Dream Trawler, and he's being rewarded at the end.
Absolutely. I think my top 3 out of this pack. I really like that Bosri's Lieutenant. It fits right into this deck. I think the Kargan Intimidator and the Elspeth Sun's Nemesis are going to be the 3 strongest picks for me.
So the 3 strongest for me is going to be that Pacifism. That is a great sideboard card. Plus Revoke of the Existence. Yeah. That's going to be a good sideboard card too. And even though he got it super late, that Charming Prince.
Charming Prince is pretty strong.
That card, it's very good. It sets you up.
Absolutely.